Good morning and welcome to Old Dominion University and the inauguration of its 9th president, Dr. Brian O. Hemphill. Our processional is led by University Marshal Dr. Helen Crompton, who is an international expert in educational technology and serves as an associate professor of educational technology in the Darden College of Education and Professional Studies. And now entering the arena are members of the Old Dominion University faculty. entering the arena are delegates from colleges and universities across the Commonwealth and the United States, in the order of each institution's founding. Please be seated. I'm Kathy Lewis, Community Liaison in the Office of Community Engagement. Today, we mark a milestone in Old Dominion's nearly 100-year history and celebrate a new chapter in our story. We're honored to have you with us today as we formally invest President Brian O. Hemphill. And now, the presentation of colors by the Old Dominion University ROTC Joint Color Guard and the singing of the national anthem, which will be performed by faculty member and alumnus Larry Giddens Jr. and the ODU Faculty Brass Quintet. Please stand as the Color Guard enters the arena.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? and the home of the brave.
Please be seated.
Mr. Rector, the investiture ceremony for Dr. Brian O. Hemphill as the 9th President of Old Dominion University is now ready to begin.
Will the members of the platform party please rise when your name is called and remain standing until all are recognized? We ask that you hold your applause until the last name is called. Joining us today on the platform are former colleagues of President Hemphill's from across the country. Dr. Susan Trageser is the Vice President for Student Affairs at Radford University. Angela Mitchell is the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students at Radford. Dr. John Jones III is the Vice President for Student Affairs at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Dr. Jill Zambito is the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Health and Well-Being at the University of Tennessee. Dr. Brandy Hefner LeBlanc is the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and Campus Life at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Sean Chrysler is the Associate Provost for Student Development at Lemoyne College. Dr. Angela Joyner is the Vice President for Economic Development and Corporate Education at Radford University. And Dr. Carolyn Ringer-Laprie is the President of Salisbury University. Thank you for joining us today. Also seated on the platform, we have university leadership, members of the Board of Visitors, and our featured speakers. Debbie Bauman is the Assistant Dean in the College of Health Sciences. Jennifer Keenan, immediate past president and board member of the ODU Alumni Association Board of Directors. Larry Giddens Jr., lecturer of voice and diction. Dr. Robert Witovich, Vice Provost and Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. David Metzger, Dean of the Perry Honors College. Dr. Gail Dodge, Dean of the College of Sciences. Dr. Bonnie Van Lunen, Dean of the College of Health Sciences. Dr. Kenneth Kahn, Dean of the Strome College of Business. Dr. Tammy Dice, Dean of the Darden College of Education and Professional Studies. Dr. Timothy Hackman, Dean of University Libraries. Dr. Kenneth Fridley, Dean of the Batten College of Engineering and Technology. Dr. Laura Del Bruge, Dean of the College of Arts and Letters. Dr. Brian Payne, Vice Provost and Dean of the School of Interdisciplinary Studies. And members of the Board of Visitors, including Yvonne Almond, Robert Browerman, Robert Korn, Dennis Elmer, Larry Hill, Brian Holland, Kay Kemper, Rudy Middleton III, Elza Mitchum, Ross Mugler, and Dr. Armistead Williams Jr. Andra Patel, student representative to the Board of Visitors. Dr. Morris Foster, Vice President for Research. Dr. Wood Seelig, Director of Athletics. Dr. Don Stansberry, Vice President for Student Engagement and Enrollment Services. Dr. Alicia Monroe, Chief Integration Officer and Senior Advisor to the President. Nina Rodriguez-Gonzer, Interim Vice President for Digital Learning. Jamie Hunt, Vice President for University Communications and Chief Marketing Officer. September Sanderlin, Vice President for Human Resources, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Alonzo Brandon, Vice President for University Advancement. Alan Wilson, Senior Assistant Attorney General. Chad Reed, Vice President for Administration and Finance and Chief Financial Officer. Dr. Austin Ago, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Ashley Shoemaker, Chief of Staff and Vice President for Strategic Operations. Dr. Kenneth Cooper Alexander, Mayor of the City of Norfolk. Kenneth Ampey, Chair of the State Council of Higher Education for Virginia. Sarah Wong Spoda, Deputy Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth. Dr. Helen Crompton, University Marshal. Dr. Derek Gregg, Combe Family Vice President for Athletics and Recreation at Northwestern University. Bruce Bradley, Rector of the Board of Visitors. Dr. Antipas Harris, Founder and President of the Urban Life Renewal Center. Dr. Michael Carhart, Chair of the Faculty Senate. Dr. Brian Noland, President of East Tennessee State University. Dr. Gordon Gee, President of West Virginia University, and our guest of honor and the 9th President of Old Dominion University, Dr. Brian O. Hemphill. Please be seated. In addition to our distinguished members of the Platform Party, we are pleased to welcome federal, state, and local officials, as well as former members of the Old Dominion University Board of Visitors. We're pleased to welcome Virginia's Secretary of Transportation, W. Shepard Miller III, and the Chief Justice of the Virginia Supreme Court, S. Bernard Goodwin. From the federal delegation, Congressman Bobby Scott from the 3rd Congressional District, representing Senator Kane's office, Diane Kaufman, representing Senator Warner's office, Drew Lumpkin. From the General Assembly, Delegate Eileen Filler-Korn, Delegate Cliff Hayes, Delegate Ann Farrell-Tata, Delegate Nadarius Clark, and Delegate Don Scott. In addition to Mayor Alexander, we are joined by the Mayor of Portsmouth, Shannon Glover, the Mayor of Chesapeake, Rick West, the Vice Mayor of Hampton, Jimmy Gray, and from Norfolk City Council, we are pleased to welcome City Council members Courtney Doyle, Mamie Johnson, Andrea McClellan, Danica Royster, along with City Manager Chip Filer and Norfolk City Public Schools Board Chair Carlos Clanton. We are pleased to welcome back former members of the ODU Board of Visitors, James Beamer, Gil Bland, Juana Dabney, James Hickson, former rector, Lisa Smith, former rector, Judy Swiston, and Ken Ampey. Please welcome our special guests. It's a time-honored tradition for colleges and universities to send representation to campus for the inauguration of their colleagues. And we're honored today to have friends from across the Commonwealth and the United States join us for this commemorative special occasion. Will the education delegates please rise and let us recognize you? Dr. Antipas Harris, a theologian, community advocate, pastor, and founder and president of Norfolk's Urban Life Renewal Center, will now deliver the invocation.
We've gathered from many traditions, backgrounds, and faiths. May we join together in a unified prayer. Almighty God, we bask in the grandeur of this moment. Celebration is in the air. Amid many challenges or glimpses of beauty, in place of suffering, there is a glorious birth of something new. Misinformation is overcome with hours of truth. Discrimination cannot stand under the weight of justice. And bondage cannot endure a destiny of freedom. Our souls rejoice in the transformative power of education and a nation in which learning is the capstone of human rights. Lord, we thank you for Old Dominion University. It stands as a beacon of education, a dynamic research institution that serves its students and enriches the Commonwealth, the nation, and the world through rigorous academic programs, strategic partnerships, and active civic engagement. Today is a crucial moment in the future of this mission. We ask your blessings on all who are here today. We particularly ask your guidance and wisdom on ODU's Board of Visitors, the administrative leadership, and the president, the newly appointed Brian O. Hemphill. May your wisdom rest upon Dr. Hemphill to lead Old Dominion University into opportunities and guide him to overcome challenges. Give him insight and foresight. Kindle renewed excitement in his heart and enlighten his mind with creativity for the journey ahead. May you energize him with vision and surround him with support and wise counsel. May he and Dr. Maricela and their family experience the best days of their life. May they discover a rhythm of belonging in this community. This university has been one of the nation's great loci of scholarship and education. Many leaders, scholars, and public servants occupy global spaces and places with the richness of these renowned educational corridors. Bless the Old Dominion University family with the gracious love of a beloved community. People come from around the world to learn, to grow, to develop, and to belong. May Hampton Roads be welcoming and affirming of all the talent this place draws and cultivates. Now, dear Lord, who calls us to be and to become the master educator, we implore you to mold us, make us, reform us, or even transform us into our best selves. May your eternal will conform us into the destined diverse symphony of love, righteousness, and justice that fulfills our collective human existence. In your name we pray. Amen.
Now we welcome the host of today's ceremony, Rector Bruce Bradley. Mr. Bradley graduated from Old Dominion with a degree in business administration, which has served him well. Before his retirement, Mr. Bradley led Landmark Publishing Group and served as the president and publisher of the Virginian Pilot newspaper. Today, he leads Old Dominion's governing body, the Board of Visitors. Please welcome Rector Bruce Bradley.
Thank you, Kathy, and good morning to all. On behalf of the Board of Visitors, welcome to this historic occasion in the life of Old Dominion University. We are here to celebrate the inauguration of Dr. Brian Hemphill as the 9th president at Old Dominion. I've had the pleasure of working with Brian for about a year and a half. Those of us on the search committee agree we could not have chosen anyone more perfect to lead ODU than Brian. This event has caused me to reflect on what makes Brian such an effective leader for Old Dominion. John Carter is a noted author of business books and a faculty member at Harvard Business School. He has written extensively on leadership. He writes that the essential function of leadership is to produce adaptive or useful change. He says a leader has 3 roles: establish direction, align people, and motivate and inspire. Carter's description of an effective leader describes how Brian operates. He's not a maintainer, as some managers are. He is hardworking, competent, inspiring, and yet humble. And he and his wife, Maricela, are extraordinarily personable. They are a delight to be around. Brian is perfect for these times at Old Dominion because we are at an inflection point, entering a time of great opportunity. ODU has been designated an R1 research institution, an honor bestowed on only 3% of higher ed institutions in America. Our School for Maritime and Logistics has been launched, as has our work in coastal resilience and our work with the space station at Wallops Island. Our relatively new cybersecurity program is growing rapidly, with over 200 graduates last year. Our athletic programs have received an infusion of energy with the move to the Sun Belt Conference, and we're moving ever closer to a merger with EVMS, which will address the significant health disparities in Hampton Roads. Underlying all this, ODU boasts one of the most diverse student bodies in the Commonwealth, one of the lowest tuition rates, making us one of the best higher ed values, while at the same time being a beacon for first-in-the-family scholars. It's a great time to be a part of Old Dominion. Dr. Hemphill is the perfect leader to take us to new heights. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today to honor our new president, Dr. Brian Hemphill. The future of Old Dominion is very bright indeed.
Our next speaker is Deputy Secretary Sarah Huang Spoda. Before her appointment as Deputy Secretary of Education by Governor Glenn Youngkin, she spent many years working in federal and state government as both district representative for the House Majority Leader and as a legislative staff member for Lieutenant Governor Bill Bolling. Most recently, she worked to support higher education at George Mason University. Please join me in a warm monarch welcome for Deputy Secretary Sarah Huang Spoda.
Good morning. I have the distinct pleasure to offer greetings on behalf of the Governor, the Secretary of Education, and the Commonwealth of Virginia. Today is a really special and important day for every single member of the Old Dominion family. Today marks the beginning of a new era and builds on the amazing success of ODU's past. I have been honored to get to know President Hemphill over the years during his time at Radford and here at ODU. The administration is grateful to have the opportunity to work with him and the university to help promote ODU and all of its many successes. You are lucky to have such a devoted public servant, a leader, and someone who represents ODU so well in Richmond and across the country. And personally, I'm grateful that you decided to stay in Virginia. We look to ODU to ensure that every student is prepared for success in life. Virginia graduates must be ready to be productive members of our economy, our democracy, and our communities. And I know that the quality education and the experiences that each one of you receives here will do just that. When I think of what the next few years hold for ODU, the word that comes to my mind is inspired. I'm inspired by your ambition to be recognized across the Commonwealth, the country, and the globe as a leader in higher education. I'm inspired by your dedication to economic development and growth, student success, and producing the leaders of our next generation. I'm inspired that you all are building a dominating football team that can beat any ACC team. I'm inspired that the students, faculty, and staff are researching and developing new ideas and technologies that will spur innovation in our world. And I'm inspired by the vision that President Hemphill has for this great university. I know that President Hemphill is the right leader to lead ODU into its next chapter. So I congratulate you, I celebrate you, and we're here to cheer you on as you accomplish great things. Thank you.
From the State Council of Higher Education for Virginia, please welcome Kenneth Ampey, an ODU alumnus, former Board of Visitors member, and co-founder and CEO of Astyra Corporation, a national provider of information technology staffing and consulting services. Although he now lives in the Richmond area, he's a frequent visitor to Hampton Roads, and his wife and children are also alums and avid Monarch supporters. Please welcome State Council Chair Kenneth Ampey.
Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Ken Ampey, and I'm the chairman of the board of the State Council for Higher Education of Virginia. I'm also a proud alumnus of Old Dominion University, having graduated in 1990. I bring you greetings this morning from State Council of Higher Education, also known as SHEV. All of the members of SHEV are happy to send greetings to you this morning. In my role at SHEV, I've had the occasion to meet just about all of the presidents of institutions here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Early on in my tenure at SHEV, I had the occasion to be visited by the president of Radford University. At that time, the president of Radford was a gentleman by the name of Brian Hemphill. President Hemphill had come to visit me to talk about the wonderful things he was planning to do there at Radford. When he left my office, I was thinking to myself, wow, that's a sharp, intelligent, incredible young individual, and the university should be proud to have him because he's going to do great things there at Radford. Some years later, the role of president became available here at Old Dominion University. I had served on the Presidential Search Committee many years ago, the last time the role of president was available here at Old Dominion, so I was aware of the challenges that the committee would face to find the right candidate. So like many of you, I waited patiently to learn who that candidate would be. And I couldn't have been more surprised, more happy when the person announced was Brian Hemphill, the same person who had visited me years earlier. So I was super excited, and all of us at SHEV are looking forward to working with you, sir. But more importantly, I, as an alumnus of Old Dominion, I'm looking forward to all the wonderful things you're going to do here at this university. Thank you.
Old Dominion University is accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges. President Bill Whelan's impressive career spans more than 40 years and includes roles as a faculty member, chief student services officer, campus provost, and college president. She also served as Virginia's Secretary of Education under Governor Warner. Unfortunately, President Whelan is experiencing a travel delay and is unable to join us today. So please welcome East Tennessee State University President Brian Noland, who will deliver a message from President Whelan.
Well, good morning. On behalf of President Whelan and all the member institutions of the Commission on Colleges, we bring greetings and best wishes to President Hemphill, Rector Bradley, and members of the Board of Visitors, other distinguished platform guests, honorable faculty, and staff. It's truly an honor and privilege to bring greetings and heartfelt congratulations to the board and on behalf of the more than 780 member institutions of the Southern Association of Colleges and the Commission on Colleges. It is truly a special day in the life of Old Dominion University, a new beginning, a time of renewal and reflection. In a post-COVID environment, the president's job is more complex than ever before. However, it's obvious that you have the support of the university family and of the Hampton Roads community in continuing to provide a high-quality education to students who entrust their future in you. President Whelan wanted to take a few moments just to share a few leadership quotes that have kept her motivated during her tenure. Even today, in her role as president of the commission, she falls back on some of them when the days are long and the people are trying. First, from Nelson Mandela, a leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind. A second from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which with most of us are familiar. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. President Hemphill, the journey you are beginning today will be filled with many successes and challenges. Please know that everyone associated with SAC-COC stands ready to assist you in your journey. Congratulations, and may you have a very long and successful tenure.
At its core, Old Dominion is devoted to creating opportunities for students in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in local communities. Students find their passion at Old Dominion and leave here prepared to make a mark on the world. Representing the students of Old Dominion is the student representative to the Board of Visitors, Antra Patel. She is a senior majoring in biomedical sciences and minoring in chemistry and pursuing a pre-med educational path. Please welcome Antra Patel.
A very good morning to you all. It is an honor to be here today to represent the student body of Old Dominion University and to celebrate the inauguration of our university's 9th president, President Hemphill. It is a great pleasure to welcome President Hemphill to Old Dominion University. I, on behalf of myself and the student body, would like to thank you for your personable touch that you have already placed within the university. I have had the privilege to serve on the student representative to the Board of Visitors this term. Being a part of the board has allowed me to spend more time with President Hemphill. His dynamic speaking skills, accompanied with his engaging personality, nurtures his professional relationships with the students and faculty throughout the campus. Having a president who is student-oriented is necessary to foster an environment that allows the students to succeed at their maximum potential. President Hemphill is very engaged with the student body. Through his meetings, celebratory events at the Hemphill's residence, and opportunities provided during the semesters to spend more time understanding the student voice. Old Dominion University is fortunate to have chosen a leader with a passionate commitment to excellence, accountability, transparency, and being student-oriented. I want to conclude by thanking you for taking on this respectable and honorable position. You are truly making a difference in and around Old Dominion University. I am so grateful to be a student during your time as president and to have you at the helm of our exceptional institution. Thank you for your vision, drive, authenticity, and dedication. Please accept my best wishes and heartfelt congratulations on your inauguration. Go Monarchs.
Our exceptional ODU faculty is represented by the Faculty Senate. Through the leadership and work of an executive committee, the university's teaching and research faculty are well represented in institutional matters and led by Professor of History, Dr. Michael Carhart. Please welcome Dr. Carhart.
The faculty congratulate Dr. Hemphill on assuming the presidency of Old Dominion University. The faculty of the university are essential participants in the development and implementation of policy. The faculty have comprehensive and specific competence in their fields of expertise, and the faculty are eager to contribute their expertise to the shared governance of the university. The Faculty Senate is the representative body of the faculty, and as such it exercises the authority of the faculty with respect to policy on academic matters and professional affairs of the faculty, and it is in this capacity that I offer congratulations to President Hemphill on behalf of the ODU faculty. The Faculty Senate has worked very hard this past year to develop an effective partnership with President Hemphill. It took a semester for us to stake out our respective positions, but both sides see the prudence in avoiding an adversarial relationship. The president has initiatives that he wants to accomplish. The faculty want conditions under which they can perform the work that they are called to do. The faculty are engaged, but the president establishes the tone, and we look to the president for his leadership. Let me name very briefly 3 areas where we look to the president for leadership. Number 1, online versus face-to-face learning. Back in the days of Teletechnet, ODU was one of a few that had the equipment to offer a truly global campus. ODU then parlayed its experience in remote education to become an early adopter of hybrid and online learning. The pandemic lockdown and the pivot to online hastened the process. Now ODU faces competition from many quarters, and we are in the process of redefining ODU Global and its relationship to the residential 4-year campus or to 6 or 6+ year commuters. Will an online degree be the equivalent of a face-to-face degree? Can online education impart the same transformative experience as classroom and laboratory collaboration? We look to the president's leadership and expertise here. Second, the assimilation of EVMS and the creation of an academic health sciences center. In this process, the president has requested true faculty representation. The president and his leadership team have the view from 30,000 feet, but the faculty, in collaboration with dozens of administrators at all levels, are figuring out how it will actually work at the ground level. And finally, the R1, ODU has achieved the Carnegie classification of a doctoral university of very high research activity, the highest in the nation, commonly referred to as the R1, as Rector Bradley just mentioned. We now face the challenge of retaining that status, and more importantly, of making ODU look like an R1 institution. I would call on all parties present this morning to invest in faculty. The faculty are the core of the university. You know what it means to build a building. A building is tangible, you can see it, but consider, what will that building look like in 40 years? The career of a faculty member is as durable as a building. Some of the faculty we are searching for right now will still be at ODU in the year 2060. Mr. President, the faculty look forward to continuing to work with you now on the eve of ODU's second century as an institution of higher education for the transformative experience of a university education and a center for the advancement of knowledge through scientific research.
Long after leaving campus, Old Dominion alumni have fond memories of their Monarch experience and the impact the institution has on their lives, careers, and families. Representing the 165,000 ODU graduates all over the globe, please welcome the immediate past president of the ODU Alumni Association Board of Directors, Jennifer Keenan, from the class of 1988. Jennifer and her husband Jim are proud alumni and enthusiastic supporters of ODU's academic and athletic programs who take every opportunity to cheer on the Monarchs. Please welcome Jennifer Keenan.
Thank you very much. Good morning, all. What a glorious day. Beautiful voices, great socks. I noticed the socks, I love them. Today, I have the tremendous honor of congratulating President Brian Hemphill on behalf of 165,000 alumni that comprise Monarch Nation around the world. As a proud Monarch parent, member of the class of 1988, and former alumni president, I have seen the campus grow in so many ways, and I am excited for the future of this great university under President Hemphill's leadership. On July 1st, 2021, President Hemphill began his journey at Old Dominion University by traveling and meeting alumni, students, and friends across the state, connecting to share his vision and answering questions, except for parking, made the Monarch Nation tour an overwhelming success. President Hemphill made it very clear he is a man on a mission, and alumni voices do matter. As alumni board members, we are privileged having the opportunity to guide students from academic environment into their careers, encouraging an active alumni life. Dr. Hemphill has been actively engaged in this process, making it much smoother. With his leadership and wisdom, not only is Old Dominion University a great place to be, it is also a great place to be from. And yes, I did just end that sentence with a preposition. Gone are the days of OD who? The Public Health Department signing with EVMS, the announcement of the move to the Sun Belt Conference, the Maritime Initiative announcement, multiple faculty Fulbright scholars, and a plethora of other recognition by national publications. Oh, and yes, Carnegie Research 1 classification, just to name a few of our accomplishments. We are Old Dominion University. As alumni, we are confident the President's outlined guiding principles of excellence, accountability, transparency, equity and inclusion, and a student-centered approach will assist us in not only building those relationships, but sustaining Old Dominion University's legacy for decades to come. President Hemphill, when addressing a group, has the rare gift and unique ability to make you feel like he is speaking directly to you. President and First Lady Hemphill, I have enjoyed getting to know you and your family over the past year and look forward to many more years with you as president of this vibrant campus community. Thank you for your time and your talent. Congratulations and go Monarchs!
Our next speaker was born and raised in Norfolk, graduated from Old Dominion University, and rose to the city's top office in 2016. Along the way, he served in the General Assembly, both in the Virginia House of Delegates and the Senate of Virginia. And today, he represents his colleagues, all the mayors of Hampton Roads. Please welcome the mayor of the city of Norfolk, Dr. Kenneth Cooper Alexander.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Good morning. The City of Norfolk and the Hampton Roads region welcome Dr. Hemphill and his family to the region and wish him a long and successful tenure here at Old Dominion. His strong vision and focus to expand existing programs, create new opportunities, and strengthen campus engagement will take us to new heights. Thank you, and yes, go Monarchs.
Old Dominion University is home to students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends of many talents. And today we are pleased to showcase the Old Dominion University Concert Choir, Stanger String Quartet, and the Faculty Brass Choir to perform Choose Something Like a Star, a poem by Robert Frost set to the music of Randall Thompson. This work has been performed at special occasions and ceremonies for more than 50 years, and it invites each of us to focus our minds and rise to new heights. You've heard from those who have welcomed Dr. Hemphill to our community. Now we'll hear from those who have known him for many years and have been important parts of his journey to this day. Please welcome Dr. Derek Gregg, Combe Family Vice President for Athletics and Recreation at Northwestern University.
Thank you. Today is just a great day in Old Dominion and higher education history. I'm certainly thrilled, honored, and humbled to stand before you today to speak about my colleague, my friend, and my brother, Dr. Brian Hemphill, who I affectionately know as B. And I know I'm the warm-up act for the presidents here, so I'm on a strict timeline, so I'll do the 3 great B's of public speaking. We're gonna be good, be brief, and be gone. I first met Brian in 2001 at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, soon after he was named the Dean of Students there. I was a young associate athletic director, and we had a similar drive. I loved his energy immediately. I admired his determination and tenacity, and I could tell by the look in his eyes that this guy really meant business. He reminded me a lot of myself, a young Thundercat ready to take on the world. And it wasn't long after our first meeting that Brian told me that he planned on becoming a university president. Now, this is my 29th year in higher education. This is all I've ever done. I've been in athletic administration, worked closely with a lot of presidents. There are 2 things about being a president or a chancellor that I want to reference. Number 1, I have great reverence and respect for anyone who becomes a university president. That's a tough gig. And number 2, I never ever want to become a president myself. But Brian surely did, and so anyone who really knows him, those of us on the stage and out in the audience, it's no surprise to any of us that he is now a university president for the 3rd time. And over the years, we've matured and gone from black beards to gray. He kept his, I cut mine off. We've been through a lot, and I'm not gonna read everything that we've been through, but some key moments. On December 7, 2002, he was my +1 at the SEC football championship game when our Razorbacks fell really hard to Georgia, 30-3. And he never bailed on us, though. He went down with the ship with the rest of us. On May 8th, 2004, he was the first person I hugged near the stage when I received my doctorate at Arkansas. And in February of 2008, I remember having an emotional conversation with him the day that unthinkable tragedy happened on his campus at Northern Illinois. I was on a stage similar to this one in 2016 at Radford during his investiture ceremony there. And just a few weeks ago, on September 2nd, a day I know you all remember, I was watching the final quarter of your game against Virginia Tech like I was here. And I tried texting him, but I know he and Wood were jumping up and down somewhere, but he got back to me later on that day. And you should also know that you got over 2 million views on ESPN.com for your kids storming the field. And here today, October 21st, 2022. It's amazing. But throughout all our years together, one of my most favorite memories of Brian, I have 2 I'll share with you before I sit down. It was in August of 2001. He and I traveled down to Little Rock for a football game. Our Razorbacks were going against UNLV. And it was his first time going to a game there as an administrator. He was really excited about being a part of a big-time football program. And UNLV had killed us 31-14 a few months prior in a bowl game, so this was supposed to be payback time, or so we thought. And so I'm telling you, Brian will probably remember this. This was one of the ugliest, most ridiculous football games in modern day history. We were down 10-0 at halftime. We only had 57 yards in total offense. UNLV only punted the ball 1 time. We fumbled the ball 5 times. So for all of you who aren't really into football, this is as bad as it gets, I'm telling you. And so somehow, though, with 1 minute and 59 seconds, we had only had 2 first downs in the game. 1 minute and 59 seconds, the football god smiled down upon us, and we scored on a 1-yard touchdown run with 30 seconds to go. We beat them 14-10, and I remember looking at Brian. He had collapsed in his seat next to me. And honestly, I thought the guy was dead. So that was his introduction to Razorback football and a great foundation of our relationship the past 20 years. But his love of sport is overshadowed by his passion and love for higher education, for leadership, and most of all, the students that he serves. And to me, this was never more evident than when he called me on an early morning in 2002. And I answered the phone, and he didn't say, "Good morning, how are you?" He simply said, "Where are you?" And I could tell by his voice that whatever was going on, it wasn't going to be good. And it wasn't. He told me that I needed to get over to the county jail immediately to meet him, and I had no idea where the jail was, but I found my way there. And when I got there, he had been there for a little while, and unfortunately, one of our defensive captains, leaders of the football team, academic all-SEC player who had enrolled in graduate school for us, had been arrested and charged with some very serious crimes, felonies that could have landed him in prison for 50+ years. And to this day, I have no idea how Brian had gotten this information. He was the first university administrator there, and the young man had not even called his mother to let her know what was going on. And so, Brian, I'll never forget how composed and empathetic you were in that moment. Throughout that ordeal, you were never judgmental. You sought to be very helpful as possible to this young man who had done horrible damage to his life in an instant. And fortunately for the young man, he ended up serving an 18-month boot camp sentence and avoided prison time. He played briefly in the NFL, and he's been a business owner and a productive citizen the past 20 years. And so I appreciate your compassion and your willingness to assist your students at all times, even those who find themselves in catastrophic, self-inflicted, life-changing situations. And I'm sure he thanks you as well. So as I close, Brian, I want to thank you for being a true role model. I want to thank you for your transformational leadership. Thank you for being a pioneer. Someone always has to be first. Thank you for never backing away from a challenge. Thank you for your 3 decades of service to our young people. Thank you for being a true friend at all times. And most importantly, thank you for being the slightly older big brother I never had. God bless you and your beautiful family, and God bless you all. Go Monarchs and go Cats. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Dr. Brian Noland, who is also the 9th president of his institution, East Tennessee State University. Dr. Noland has been an inspirational colleague during President Hemphill's journey. We're honored to welcome him as he introduces our keynote speaker.
Well, good morning, and it is my distinct pleasure to be with you today as we celebrate the inauguration of Dr. Brian Hemphill. So you've already heard I'm the 9th president of East Tennessee State University. So from one Brian and one number 9 to another, I say congratulations. Now, there are no exclusive membership benefits for belonging to the 9th President's Club. However, I can think of no person better positioned to serve and lead this institution than the other Brian on the stage today. I first met Dr. Hemphill when he was a member of the faculty and staff at Northern Illinois University through a mutual mentor and friend, Dr. John Peters. Years later, I had the honor of recruiting him to West Virginia to serve as the president of West Virginia State University, and saw firsthand both his leadership ability and his sincere passion for student success. I observed with great interest the growth and the diversification that transformed Radford University under his leadership, and was particularly impressed by his dedication and commitment to regional development in the New River Valley. But it's our connection to West Virginia that we both share with our keynote speaker today, Dr. Gordon Gee. In addition to serving as the president of West Virginia University, my alma mater, Dr. Gee is in many respects the president of presidents in American higher education. Gordon is a champion for land-grant universities and has advocated throughout his career for institutions to build connections with the communities that they call home. Prior to returning to WVU, President Gee served in that capacity at Ohio State University, Vanderbilt University, Brown, and at the University of Colorado. His prominent career in higher education spans more than 4 decades and includes committed service to organizations and commissions in areas extending from educational governance to college athletics, youth organizations, and economic development. His published examinations of the role of land-grant universities as told through the lens of his collective leadership experience is a guide for future generations of higher education trailblazers. It is my distinct honor to welcome to the podium a living legend in the field of American higher education, Dr. Gordon Gee.
I've been called a lot of things. Out of all the introductions I've received, that's the most recent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so delighted to be here. Monarchs, right? I remember the ODU women's basketball teams when I was growing up, and boy, were they good. So I can see that these are flying up here, so good for all of you. And Derek, being a university president for you would be too low of an aspiration, I can tell you right now. I have been a university president for 42 years, and I've always wanted to make as much money as my football coach. And it has never happened. I want you to know that. So I'm honored to be here today for the inauguration of my very good friend, Dr. Brian Hemphill, as the 9th president. We've got 2 Brians up here and 2 9ths of this great institution. I had the privilege of knowing Brian for a long time and working with him on several partnerships during his presidency at West Virginia State University and obviously at Radford University. I've met his gracious wife, Maricela, and I've seen what a proud and devoted father he is to his children, Jada, Jordan, and of course he has adorable twins, Catalina and Cruz. And I also know that Old Dominion has made the best possible choice in a leader. He made a huge impact at his previous institutions in such areas as fundraising, retention, and graduation rates and enrollment. Less tangibly, but more importantly, his leadership has brought renewed energy and pride to every institution he served. Although Dr. Hemphill has solid experience as a university president, he is obviously taking on a new challenge as president of this institution, this R1 institution, as a matter of fact. And since I'm here as a sort of dean of university presidents, I hope Brian will not mind if I start by sharing some wisdom. As I will explain in a few minutes, this is a challenging time to lead a large university. Nationally potent winds are buffeting higher education in the form of state budget cuts, soaring tuition costs, aging faculties, and public doubt about the value of college. But despite all of that, my advice to you, Brian, is do not run. Because I know that Dr. Hemphill has the knowledge and skills to navigate today's challenges. Because despite all the challenges, I still believe higher education's best days are ahead of us. And because leading a large public university, I must just tell you, is great fun. I thought I would just share with you, 2 things that happened this week, if you don't mind, if I can lighten the mood here a little bit. This is a thank you note. I gave a speech about 2 weeks ago to a group of high school students. And in there I said, you know something? We're going to move West Virginia University from excellence to eminence. And then I got this note from this young guy just this week. He said, Dear President Gee, I'm a senior in high school and I'm trying to decide between Penn State and West Virginia University for college. Now I know. When I heard you speak recently, I was very impressed with your message about moving West Virginia University from excellence to impotence. He's going to do very well at Penn State, I can tell you that right now. And then I love to go and eat with the students. And I live in subsidized public housing like all university presidents, and I live right by one of the residence halls. And so I went down this week just to have a little chance to catch up with the students. And I sat down next to this young lady, and I said, what year are you? I'm a freshman. Where are you from? I'm from New Jersey. So what are you studying? Social work. And I said, do you have a roommate? And she said, yes. Then she looked at me and she said, well, when you went away to college, did you have a roommate? And I said, yes, his name was Abraham Lincoln. And I thought she would laugh and everything, and oh no, her eyes started to roll, and I knew she knew the name was familiar somewhere. And finally she said, well, did you guys get along? And I said, well, she's doing all right at Virginia Commonwealth right now, too. I want you to know that. So I know, it's kind of fun, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I've got 30,000 of them. They drive me crazy. If there was one thing I've learned over 40 years in higher education, it is that humor is a wonderful tool for connecting with people, as long as you leave sensitive topics such as football out of it. In that spirit, I offer Brian the top 10 reasons why leading a large public university is awesome. First of all, number one, free parking. Number two, you get to attend every single faculty senate meeting. Do you know how much the average person would give for that opportunity? Three, you get to live in a house with the name Jacobson House, and that sounds so much classier than just an address, in my view. As Dr. Hemphill knows, a college president who wears bow ties appears intellectual and quirky compared to an average guy wearing bow ties who looks like an aging hipster. I was recently walking across campus, and this young lady looked at me, and then she went on and she whispered to her friend, she said, "Wasn't that Orville Redenbacher? Boy, that really got me." By the way, Brian, you can probably share some of my blue bow ties with you now that I have those. I have so many bow ties because I've been president of half the universities in this country, and so I have to keep changing my wardrobe, but I'll get you some blue ones. As president, you are the most popular guy on campus. At least I am on days when blizzards roll through and get to declare a snow day, but of course your weather is a little bit nicer, so you're going to have to think of something else. And if you're nice to him, Big Blue might let you try on his crown. Admittedly, though, the WVU Mountaineer will never let me shoot one of those damn rifles, so you get to reach out to people on social media, and Dr. Hemphill has access to a better marketing tool than he may know. Adorable young twins. Nothing gets me a better reaction on Facebook than my identical twin granddaughters. If my daughter had not graciously brought them into the world, I would have had to get a corgi. At football and basketball games, people will praise your ice cream and cake dance no matter how ridiculous it is. Your autograph is in high demand, at least on diplomas at graduation. And finally, when you are president, the media hangs on every word you say. Trust me, there is no possible downside to that whatsoever. That is the reason I've changed jobs so many times. I want you to know that. So the truth is, as a university president, you do command attention. You have the responsibility. You have the responsibility to set the tone from the top on campus, as our faculty rep said just a minute ago, and to make sure that the university's vision and values are not just words on a page, but something every community lives every day. As a young president, I had the naive expectation that this would happen automatically. But I learned that our role as leaders is to make things right before they go wrong, to eliminate the possibility of wrong occurring, to nurture and maintain a culture that promotes excellence, creative thinking, and respect for others. Leading means engaging your whole campus in asking the important questions. For what purpose are we here? For what purpose do we conduct research? For what purpose do we teach? For what purpose do we raise funds and construct shiny new buildings and work hard to attract students? If it is to chase a claim or a higher slot in some arbitrary ranking, we do it for the wrong reasons. If we teach because it is what our contract says we must do, we are here for the wrong reasons. If we conduct research without thinking of how it can improve and make an impact on people's lives, we are here for the wrong reasons. Because the real reason, the true reason we are all here is to launch the ideas that will make our world a better place. We live in an era where ideas are the catalyst of all progress, and that means that education has never been more vital. Education expands individual opportunity, stimulates the economy, and creates jobs, but it does so much more than that. It makes us free. Let me say that again. Education makes us free, and it opens the American dream to every one of us forever. That is the message that a university president must share tirelessly, because this is the age of doubt. People have doubts about the economy. They have doubts about the future. They have doubts about our political process. And after what we have seen in recent years, who can blame them? Some people even doubt higher education. For years, few questioned the value of a degree in building a successful life. When I first became a university president in 1980, 95% of the American public thought higher education was a good. It is now well below 50%. As costs have soared nationwide, that value has indeed come into question. In a Pew Research Center survey, only about half of Americans think universities are having a positive effect on society. Similarly, only half believe a college education's value outweighs its cost, according to USA Today poll. Pandemic-related challenges have spurred what some call the Great Dropout. Think about this. With more than 4 million students leaving higher education, over 1 million of them last year alone. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us here together, if these trends continue, our country is in danger of losing its status as the worldwide innovation leader. We have fallen, and I'm sorry to say this, we have fallen to 16th place internationally in the percentage of young adults with college degrees. Only 2 decades ago, we ranked number 1. A lot of that loss comes from the difficulty we have supporting students from college enrollment to college graduation. The national 6-year graduation rate now is only 59%. If even half of those who drop out went on to graduate, our country could reign supreme once again in educational attainment. Our country also ranks only 24th among nations for government funding of university research as a share of gross domestic product. Meanwhile, the working world we are preparing students to enter has changing expectations. And among faculty members, many campuses are plagued by what I call the tyranny of the gerontocracy. A strange concept, I know, coming from a person whose 75th birthday is in the rearview mirror. But our faculties are aging more rapidly than other sectors. More than a third are 55 or older, compared to 23% of the overall workforce. It is great that we are able to contribute as long as possible, but this situation is making it hard for young faculty members to advance in academia. And the energy and new ideas young faculty bring to our profession is just as valuable as the experience and wisdom that older faculty provide. And all this is taking place as states continue to cut budgets for colleges and universities. Although I know, and I say this to our secretary here, although I know Virginia has been more forward-thinking than some about investing in higher education. So these are concerning statistics and perceptions. And university presidents grapple with them each and every day. But my experience allows me to see beyond the immediate challenges. I see the possibilities for our public universities. I see the enormous potential in our students and the commitment of our faculty and staff who teach and guide them. I observe each and every day the extraordinary research we conduct and the health care we deliver. I am blessed. I am fortunate to bear witness daily to the myriad ways public universities lift our communities. American higher education is a powerful, collective, transforming potential into real solutions. Brian Hemphill will not run away from today's challenges because he is a great leader. We just heard that. And he believes, as I do, that moments of great challenge are moments of greatest opportunities. What this moment demands is simply the best of us. It demands that colleges and universities exercise their power as a central force in the creation of progress. University presidents must think hard about the needs in their neighborhoods and in cities and villages around the world. They must have the vision to reimagine what education can and should look like in this 21st century, and then have the will and the courage to make that historic change happen. They must make real strategic decisions about academic direction, about programs for investment and disinvestment, and I do use that word. They must learn to say the word no, which in my view is the most powerful word in academic life, because when you say yes, then you mean it. They must be problem solvers, collaborators, innovators, and risk takers. Above all, presidents must be advocates for the value of higher learning. When critics question the value of a degree, we must make the reality clear. It is more important than ever to possess the knowledge and skills acquired to be on a college campus. Bachelor's degree holders are half, let me say this again, bachelor's degrees holders are half as likely to be unemployed than those with high school diplomas. And graduates make at least $1.2 million more on average throughout their lives. Simply put, having an educated populace is also more important to our nation's future than ever before. Improving science, technology, engineering, and math education is especially critical to maintaining America's traditional world leadership in innovation. But amid the push for STEM, and we all know that it is a very critical push, we as presidents must also reinforce the value of the arts. They're beautiful, aren't they? By the way, give them a round of applause. The value of the arts in this changing world. Ladies and gentlemen, the arts quite simply nourish the soul. They make our lives richer, more compassionate, more fulfilled. They are, in fact, what makes us human. We must never forget that our schools, all types and all levels, are where the mind and the imagination flourish. We are repositories of human achievement, sanctuaries for the human spirit, and incubators of human aspiration. As I tell my community at West Virginia University, we must be more than an institution of higher learning. We must be an institution of higher purpose. Last year, I introduced purpose as one of the main pillars of our institution, standing alongside education, healthcare, and prosperity. In this important moment, in this very critical moment, and in these challenging times, public universities must go beyond the answers we have always given and embrace the unique purpose we fill. We must see our fellow institutions as allies, not opponents. There is infinite room in American higher education for improvement, expansion, and collaboration. We must reach out. We must reach out as never before to others of goodwill and common intent. We must initiate wholly new kinds of collaboration that extend our missions more completely and effectively to every corner of our nation and beyond. We must liberate energies imprisoned by long-held habits and habits of the mind. I strongly believe that freedom begets human creativity and goodwill. Making our own choices empowers us to take risks, to innovate, to fail, and to get up and try again. My experience working with Dr. Hemphill has shown me that he, and I say this not because I'm here, but because I believe that he has the vision to navigate all of today's challenges and a passion for higher education that will help Old Dominion University thrive as never before. He has the empathy to connect with students and understand their needs. We heard that today. And at his previous institutions, he did not camp out in his office. He was out and about constantly talking to students, faculty, staff, and alumni. The student body president at West Virginia State, who joined him for lunch once a month, said, "I know how lucky I am. Whenever I talk to other student government people at conferences, they'll always say, like, he really did that? Our president would never do that." So Brian also has the fundraising acumen to generate new investments on campus. Investments in scholarship, investments in people to certainly help students fulfill their dreams, investments in professorships and chairs and research funds to recruit and retain the best possible faculty, investments in facilities to meet today's learning needs. He also has a proven track record for creating partnerships that strengthen the university. In West Virginia, he forged several between West Virginia State and larger public universities, including my own. And Brian also has the wisdom to promote the free and open discussion that is the cornerstone of a university. I know Brian believes in today's students, and he knows that a university's role is not to make people comfortable, it is to make them think. Because despite all the challenges we face and the doubts American harbor, our nation still looks to higher education for solutions. They look to us because of the uniquely powerful role that education has played in America to fulfill our country's founding ideal of a meritocracy based on ability and action to sustain our democracy through an informed citizenry and to right the wrongs of bigotry and oppression. Dr. Hemphill knows the true purpose of public higher education: to help people live the American potential and to help our world advance beyond our wildest dreams. And I know that he will live that truth every day. So congratulations, Brian, on becoming Old Dominion University's 9th president. Thank you very much.
The academic symbols you see at today's ceremony reflect the continuity and strength of higher education in our culture. The Presidential Medallion and Mace will now be ceremonially presented to President Hemphill. Rector Bruce Bradley and Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Austin Ago, will make these special presentations. We begin with the University Medallion, signifying the office of the President, which is worn during ceremonial occasions. The one being presented to President Hemphill was designed in 2021 and showcases a series of metal plaques featuring the names of the academic colleges and schools at ODU. It serves as a symbol of our work as an institution educating and serving our students while enriching the Commonwealth, the nation, and the world through rigorous academic strategic partnerships and active civic engagement. The second symbol is the University Mace. Commissioned in 1985, the university's mace was designed by Associate Professor Emeritus of Art William Wagner and crafted by Associate Professor of Art Diane DeBexedon. The mace features the original university medallion in a three-dimensional form. Provost Ago will present the mace to President Hemphill to serve as a reminder that universities are guardians of the enduring traditions of learning and of the promise they bestow on those who come to learn. And now, please welcome to the podium Dr. Brian O. Hemphill, who has been appointed by the Board of Visitors as the 9th president of Old Dominion University, as he delivers his inaugural address titled Forward Focused, Inspiring Innovation.
Rector Bradley, Provost Ago, thank you. I will hold these items sacred as a symbol of this institution and the importance of the position you've entrusted to me. I pledge to uphold the integrity and mission of Old Dominion University throughout my presidency. Thank you. First of all, please join me in giving President Gee another hearty round of applause. President Gee, thank you for your message from 1995 is when we actually connected that inspired me as I sat in Columbus, Ohio as a new professional in higher education. Little did I know that nearly 3 decades later, we'd be sitting on the stage together. You certainly have a witty sense of humor that is second to none, as all of you witnessed, and has an amazing taste in bow ties. And I will take some of those blue ties, by the way. But more importantly, you have served as a trailblazer in American higher education and paved the way for so many, including me. You are truly the godfather of modern higher education in our nation. Thank you, Gordon. Let's give him another round of applause. Also, join me in giving Dr. Derek Gregg another hearty round of applause. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. Through many years of friendship, we supported each other as we navigated a host of opportunities and challenges. I'm honored to count you as one of my dearest friends and most trusted colleagues. Let's give Derek another hearty round of applause. So proud of you. Proud of you. And I'd like to take a moment and recognize several very important individuals who are here today and critical to this university, but I'd say to the future of the Commonwealth. I'd be remiss if I did not begin by recognizing my bosses, members of the Board of Visitors. If all of you could just please stand. All of you could please stand. All of the Board of Visitor members, including our student rep to the board. I want you to know, not yet, please stand. These outstanding individuals have continuously dedicated their time and talent to ensure that Old Dominion University's best and brightest days are ahead. Please join me in a hearty round of applause for our board. Outstanding. Please be seated. And to my former cabinet members and staff, you were introduced earlier, but I'd still like you to stand as I call your name one more time. John Jones, President Lynn Lepre, Brandy Hepler-Nobank, Angela Joyner, Angie Mitchell, Susan Tragister, and Sean Chrysler. I would like to thank all of you for your hard work over the years, your friendship, your words of wisdom. I'm so proud of each of you for your accomplishments, and I also look forward to following your amazing careers in the years to come. Let's give my former cabinet a round of applause. Please be seated. And to some of my closest friends that are here today, I would like to, please stand as I call your name. Adam and Caitlin Skaggs, Greg Burton, Ann Smith, and Jason and Stormy Lunsford. I know there are a few others that I don't know everybody's name. Please stand, guys. I want to thank you for your constant support and words of encouragement over the years as well. Your continued friendship is so special to myself and my family. Love you guys and miss you guys. Love you. Give them a round of applause. Also, I have a number of close friends that are here from Southwest Virginia, some of my former bosses, Bob and Sandy Archer, Mark Lawrence, and Joe and Fran Scartelli. Could you guys please stand? I want you to, let's give them a round of applause. I want you to know, ever since I've left, I tell you, these individuals have still been so important in terms of our life and our connection, and we greatly love you guys, appreciate you. Thank you for being here today, guys. Give them a round of applause. And to Old Dominion University's Leadership Council, which include the vice presidents and academic deans, could you please stand? The team that you see standing behind me have locked arms and worked so hard over this past year to advance our institution. I know that they have the determination and drive to continue our progress and success for many years to come. Let's give this group a round of applause for all that they've done, but all that they will continue to do in the future. Let's give them a hearty round of applause. I'd also like to acknowledge my family. If you could stand as a group, the Hemphill family, the Wilkins family, the Rosas family. Where's mommy? If you guys could please stand. As a family, we've experienced a great deal of loss in recent years, but we've continued to stay committed to each other. I cannot thank you enough for your prayers and love over the years. Let's give my family a hearty round of applause. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you. Please be seated. And to my wife and your First Lady, Dr. Maricela Rosas Hemphill, please stand. Yes. I want to thank you for believing in me, loving me, supporting me, and accompanying me on this remarkable journey. You're special to me, our family, and this entire community. Let's give her a hearty round of applause. And to my children, Jada, Jordan, Catalina, and Cruz. Please stand, guys. Please know how proud I am of each of you. It is a joy and a privilege to have the pleasure of being your father. And I will tell you, I love all of you. And for those looking closely, yes, my son is 6'5" and about 4 inches taller than his dad. But I love all of you guys, so proud of you. Give my kids a round of applause. And to Ashley Shoemaker, our Chief of Staff, which all of you know her as Chief, who works most closely, members of the Presidential Inauguration Planning Committee, our Alumni Relations team, as well as event staff and volunteers. Thank you for all of your hard work, sheer dedication, and planning and executing today's ceremony and all of our homecoming events, which are just getting started. Join them, give them a round of applause. Just great appreciation. Thank you. Thank you. And to the platform party, including our distinguished speakers, the delegates who've joined us from across the state and nation, our outstanding faculty, and guests who fill the audience, good morning and thank you for being here. It is truly an honor to stand before you as the 9th president of Old Dominion University. Today is a day to celebrate, reflect, and anticipate. Today is a celebration of our storied history and our lasting legacy, a reflection of our proud tradition, and last but certainly not least, anticipation for our bold and promising future. When my family and I arrived here in Hampton Roads last summer, we were welcomed by the Monarch Nation. To our fellow monarchs, including students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends, we say thank you. You have provided constant support, unwavering passion, and sincere optimism as we navigated this past year. When we began this journey together on July 1 of 2021, we made a commitment to excellence, accountability, transparency, and student-centeredness. And it's clear that everybody was listening because everybody had those today for me. Really appreciate it. But without question, Old Dominion University's longstanding reputation and proven success is about providing access and opportunity are the cornerstones of the efforts and will continue to guide us as we move forward. In order for Old Dominion University to continue this critical work, we must do several important things. First, we must continue this journey of being student-centered. It is an important aspect of everything that we do as a university. Please, let's take a moment and applaud the outstanding 23,000+ students that we have on our campus. Let's applaud them. And second, faculty must be active partners in the governance of this great university. Would all of our faculty please stand? Please stand. I want you to join me in giving our faculty, they are truly outstanding. Let's give them a round of applause. Please be seated. And third, we must be forward-focused. That cannot happen without the engagement of our alumni and our donors. Could I ask all of our dedicated supporters and proud alumni to please stand with a little bit of pride. Alumni and donors, please stand. All of our alumni and donors, please stand. Let's give them a hearty round of applause. Thank you. Please be seated. In terms of student-centeredness, we have to be nimble and committed to working with all of our students. Anyone can admit a student with a perfect grade point average and tout their success. But I would say that's not the real world, and it's not the purpose of ODU. We must embrace our public mission and be dedicated to ensuring student success and enabling access and opportunity for all Virginians. The truth is that higher education is operating under an industrial model in a post-industrial society. And with that being forward, as we think about the challenges we face, we have a global health pandemic that's created more challenges for us. Ultimately, higher education's purpose is to equip students for success in life, the workplace, and the communities they will call home. The purpose has remained constant for centuries. However, everything around higher education is changing. Now, we can allow skyrocketing tuition, growing student debt, the enrollment cliff, the value proposition, or the challenging post-COVID environment to define us or limit our possibilities. Or we can embrace innovation and opportunities, and in turn, we will be a forward-focused institution, forward-focused in our research, forward-focused in our teaching, and forward-focused in our service. Our reality is that the speed at which most universities evolve will not be sufficient to fully serve our communities and positively impact our nation. It's clear, we must be innovative in order to thrive. The universities that engage in innovative approaches and visionary changes will remain at the forefront during these challenging times. And I commit to you that Old Dominion University will be one of those leading institutions. In order for our efforts to be successful, we must engage the Monarch Nation in its totality in planning and executing a bold and innovative agenda. We must be innovative in every aspect of our work. Innovation must become our new normal. Our success will ultimately be determined by the commitment of our faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends to think outside of that proverbial box. For innovation to come to life in our organizations, we must be willing to embrace this new normal in higher education that we're facing. This will allow us to have meaningful conversations regarding corporate partnerships, interdisciplinary programs, and student success in bold and new ways. In looking to the future, it is important to face our current realities. There's increased competition from public, private, and for-profit universities, and not to mention companies and corporations. Remember that the core of innovation is about the process of thinking in new and profound ways to improve results. So as we prepare to travel a road of innovation with students at the heart of every decision, we will serve the Commonwealth as a model for creativity, discovery, excellence, and progress with a keen eye toward research, teaching, and service. In doing so, something special will happen on this campus. We will transform Old Dominion University. Together, we will propel ODU to national and international prominence. Now, I will tell you, we will encounter challenges, but collectively, we must face those challenges together. The changes in higher education are so rapid. Universities that embrace these significant changes and meet the growing needs of this great country will thrive, and those that do not will fade away one by one. It's happening every year all across our nation. Universities and colleges are closing their doors, but I'm confident that Old Dominion University will thrive in the future. We will be a university on the cutting edge. We will be a university prepared to lead. Why am I so confident? Because I've looked into the eyes of our faculty and our staff. I've witnessed firsthand their passion and perseverance on behalf of this great university. I've been moved by each of them telling our story. In recent months, the Monarch story has been one of great achievement and tremendous progress. One clear example, our recent designation as one of the nation's top performing research institutions. And folks, I would say to you that that's just the beginning. I know that by working together, we will take Old Dominion University to unprecedented heights. So today, as I stand before you as the 9th president of Old Dominion University, with a deep level of determination to make a difference in the lives of current and future generations of students. The enormity of the trust that you've instilled in me is my constant companion. It is present in every action and every decision I've made and will continue to make on behalf of this university. I pledge to build on the legacies of all of our prior presidents, including Cook, Runta, and Broderick. I promise to serve Old Dominion University and guide our Monarch Nation by furthering our commitment to civility, inclusion, and respect, the hallmarks of this family. I pledge to fulfill the duties and responsibilities of president in leading this incredible institution each and every day. It is my individual pledge to campus, it is my collective promise to this community, and it is our greatest privilege to serve the Commonwealth of Virginia. With the winds at our back and the Monarch momentum in our hearts, we cannot falter and we will not falter. Thank you, and go Monarchs.
And now, the singing of the alma mater. The ODU Concert Choir, under the direction of Dr. Nancy Klein, will lead us in the singing of the alma mater. The words are printed on the inside cover of your program. Before we conclude today's ceremony with the benediction, we want to thank you for joining us at an exciting time at Old Dominion University. Last night, the start of homecoming weekend, the Alumni Honors Dinner saw the announcement of the Forward-Focused for Dreams and Beyond campaign to raise a record $500 million to support ODU for generations to come. Inauguration sponsors, many of whom are with us today. Yeah, you can applaud that. That's a good thing. Inauguration sponsors, many of whom are with us today, also generously contributed funds to establish the Presidential Merit Scholarship in honor of this special weekend. Following the benediction, please remain in your seats until the recessional has exited the arena floor. Dr. Antipas Harris will now offer the benediction.
Dr. Hemphill, you inspire us. May you and Lady Hemphill and your family be blessed. May everyone here be blessed. May this place, the corridors of hope and education, be blessed, and may the freedom of ideas produce new knowledge. May the moral fortitude of the universe cause us to pursue justice and righteousness. May cultural humility be with us, and may the beautiful kaleidoscope of God's creation be affirmed. May each person be safe, and may we perpetuate love, peace, and hope in a world that is in desperate need of it. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you again for joining us for the inauguration of President Brian O. Hemphill. Following the recessional, please exit through the center lobby, where volunteers will provide you with a commemorative coin marking this significant milestone in the history and future of Old Dominion University. This concludes our ceremony.